瞳を閉じて時を見つめてた問いかけるいつかの声形なく漂った隠した寂しさが照らした涙とめぐる輝きに儚いこの日を名付けたくはなかった手探りで探してる僕を流れていく足がれ言葉を重ねる心が確かになるだけ無限の過去の色が君を昨日に閉じ込めてしまうから使いばかり心の中なくのるくらいなら向かっていけそうな選ぶ響き合うかすかな不安を残しでも見抜けさ笑ってる世界を忘れたくない気づかずに映した星の眩しさを数えて眠れる夜さえ今は抱きしめていなくてしてしまう何もない朝を一人でそこで泣いている密かな合図を耳にするなんで問いかける声があなたの色のまま息をすることができるならときめか言葉で紡いでいけるのだろうか守った日常の隅にあるその優しさと揺らいだ景色を思い出せるようにてね今日も照らした涙とめぐる輝きに儚いこの日を忘れたくはなかった手探りで探してる僕を流れてく明日へ言葉を重ねる心が確かにあるだけ
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our final match of the evening. We bring you a winner's bracket match this time around. It's going to be Virginia versus Tennessee, two very solid teams with some big names on both sides. I'm MyFlame, joined by Juno. It's the classic, two Canadians commentating USC. How you feeling tonight?
Oh, wait, that's the wrong country. Sorry.
We
all right.
on guard.
Yeah,
Anyway.
we're getting into the 4th versus the 13th seed. Both of these teams really winning their matches quite handily last week. Next week is next week. So they won't be having won their matches next week yet, but winning both their matches pretty decisively last week. Really looking at carry players in this match. Of course, on the side of Virginia, we have Window Wife. Obviously, that is not Window Life, but it is Rectagon, who is, I would say, definitely in the top 3, arguably top 2, arguably top 1 tournament player in all of the United States, as well as on the side of Tennessee of Coda, who is definitely very well experienced in tournaments, as well as a few other players that have been around the tournament scene for quite a bit. Firyu and Suicune 3 as well.
Yeah, both teams, a lot of good players on the rosters. I think obviously these two teams have very different skill sets. For Virginia, you're looking at more of the RO16, some of the tech picks to be their strong suits, whereas Tennessee have unsurprisingly looked very good on the reading, on the hiddens, and perhaps less obviously on they look really good on the DTs as well. So I do think the DTs are something that are going to be a little bit more contested. And interestingly enough, we did see Virginia drop 3 points to the 29th seed Wisconsin last week. So anything could happen here, despite the seeding mismatch. Virginia have dropped points before, and so I think Tennessee could certainly put up a good fight. Coda was also one of the strongest players last weekend, getting the 8th individual in the round of 32. So Tennessee have a lot going for them this week.
Yeah, and I believe this map pool definitely a step up in difficulty compared to last week's round 32 pool. Of course, in round 32, you have a lot of a much wider skill gap between your top players and your maybe closer to 5-digit, like low 4-digit players. Although that doesn't mean that they can't play well on some of these maps, but it's definitely a big boost in skill cap this week. I'm looking at some of the maps like the Hidden 2, especially. You have maps like the DT3 that are quite fast, a lot of big bursts, and as well as that Free Mod 2 being very big shred. And of course the No Mod 4, the 5-minute long 200 BPM stream map. Like, you got to think that that's a map that Tennessee might be looking to ban with great mechanics players on the side of Virginia.
Yeah, I will say that is a pretty easy map. It is just about the consistency, so maybe they leave it open and just hope to get a little bit lucky with some Virginia misses. My guess would be they want to ban out something like the Hard Rock 2 instead. That is probably the hardest map in the pool, and something that a player like Rexigon can absolutely dominate on. And I think Virginia have shown that they have the supporting players to put up really good scores on these Hard Rock picks. So that'd be my guess for Ben. We do have one more warm-up to get through before we start this match. Thankfully, both these two teams pick short warm-ups, so well done to them. Last match had 2 3.5-minute warm-ups. So that was a good time.
I pity the people who have to commentate through 3.5-minute warm. Like,
I pity myself too, Juno.
7 minutes worth of warm-ups. But yeah, getting through this, it's really now that we do see that Rectagon is here, just looking through the stats from last week, I'm just trying to find where, like, the Rectagon, I honestly can't tell which flag is which.
A lot of them look very similar.
A lot of them are very similar, but I
think that Virginia has
think
a pretty distinctive one. It's like the red flag with the little white and black circle on the left.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, it looked like their match versus Wisconsin had to do more with the lower skill cap necessary for a lot of the maps being picked, as well as, like, Virginia, they do have players that play the more gimmicky stuff, but not necessarily what I would say is their biggest strong suit. And as you said, definitely something that Tennessee can take advantage of this match.
Yeah, they do definitely have RNG and one tabby to fill in for those kind of more gimmicky rating maps for some of the lower AR picks, like the this week's No Mod 5. So for Virginia, are certainly not going to roll over on some of the rating picks, but I do think that will probably be Tennessee's best bet in this match. And one tabby playing the easy on both of the warm-ups. Maybe we'll see an easy on this match if the Free Mod 1 is left open and gets picked. I have yet to see an easy on the matches I've been commentating, but I'm still holding out hope.
Yeah, you never know. Easy is just really one of those, like, at this stage, it's only really worth it if you can guarantee an FC, because I believe it's a 2.0 multiplier. So it is a good multiplier, but definitely if you can get an FC on a no mod or a different modded FC, definitely much more beneficial still at this point, rather than the in some cases gamble with the easy. But we're going to be getting into some roles, into some bans here. And although, no, we haven't banned yet. So I know sometimes we'll see teams ban before the warm-ups or ban after the warm-ups, but we are going to be seeing the bans coming out now, and some roles to determine the order of how we're going to go. It looks like first ban going to be going over to Virginia, which means that the first pick is going to go over to, as I wait intently to see it filled out in the ref sheet.
Yeah, Virginia has to decide, and usually we see second pick decided. There are a couple teams that have opted for first pick, but certainly in the minority. So we had Rectigon joining Tennessee for the warm-ups.
Very, very fun. Going to be playing a little double agent there. Going to be skewing the warm-up score so that they don't know, so that they don't realize that maybe they was like, oh, DT, oh, we were really good at that, but it was actually Rectigon getting the big score. And it's going to be a first pick coming out of RNG on Virginia, and they're going to be going straight into an older style DT aim map. This is going to be a happy 30 map. DT2 Alive Alone. Oh, that's a ban. Sorry, I just got here, and we are going to be banning maps first, of course, and it's going to be a double DT ban across the board. Get that tapping out of the match right here, as it's going to be Tennessee taking away the DT1. So all other mod pools fully open, and that DT3, of course, still available.
Yeah, it does give me the chance to see the Hidden 2 at one of those very difficult maps you mentioned that has been banned out very frequently this weekend. Possibly, along with Hard Rock 2, one of the very difficult maps in the pool. So would love to see that pick. The flatter aim on that map is absolutely brutal. But Virginia has the next pick. I think Hard Rock 2 is going to be a very strong pick for them. That's the most likely first pick in my mind, but they definitely have options. I think they're going to look pretty solid on some of the more check-focused picks. Those, I believe, being the Hidden 1 and the No Mod 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as well as you were mentioning earlier, that HR2, a pick that Virginia might go with, especially with RNG and Rectigon being very strong Hard Rock players, and it being sort of a gimmick here, swing style Hard Rock map, and as you said, hardest map in the pool by far, definitely pushing that skill cap, and it is going to be the Hard Rock 2. This is going to be changed, featuring Kafu by Giga as our first map in this match here. Best of 9.
Yep, like this pick for Virginia, honestly. This is the map I was expecting to see banned out by Tennessee, but I guess they feel like they've got a better shot at the Hard Rock 2 than they do on the DP picks. And so we'll see what they can do here. Tennessee, definitely much more of a hidden team, but maybe they can throw a roster together to compete on this map. Now, it is definitely the highest skill cap map in the pool, but I think this early on in the tournament, the maps are still easy enough that Tennessee probably shouldn't be a sleeper skill cap on this map, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. As we see Taco in for Tennessee, just waiting for them to switch into their lineup. Looks like it's going to be Furry and Coda running that one out. For Virginia, we've got one Tabby currently sitting in the lobby, probably waiting for a Rectigon and RNG to slot in as well.
Yeah, probably looking at Rectigon and RNG to be the two main carry players on Virginia over here. Probably going to be seeing Coda quite a bit in this lobby, did play almost every single map, I believe every single map last week for Tennessee, and we actually see Suicune 3 going to be hopping in for their in this first map here, and Uzumaki going to be coming in, as well as Failing. So we're going to be seeing 2 other players hopping in here for Virginia, and going to be seeing a good luck, have fun. Going to be getting into our first map here, Hard Rock 2. This awkward swing style map requires a lot of control, and mostly a lot of cursor control, a little bit of finger control as well, with some rhythmic elements, especially with the OD10 going to be quite tricky here.
Yeah, we have seen some abysmally low accuracies on this map from quite a number of teams, even some of the stronger players in the tournament. And we see already Suicune and Zatako struggling a little bit with the Yankees. We'll see if they're able to recover or whether they drop that accuracy further. And honestly, Virginia's accuracy is not that much better outside of Rectigon, Failing, and Coda. Just going to be trading the misses to start this one out. But this is where the map really starts to pick up, really starts to get difficult, and where we expect to see a few more misses on both sides. But aside from those early misses and Coda now finding chain misses, everybody else is holding strong still.
It's going to be 2 FCs per side here, but it's a recovery from Failing right now, and holding about a similar accuracy to Coda right now, but Coda just finding a couple of extra misses. So it is going to be a good score lead here, about almost halfway through the map. A lot of short maps in this pool, this being only 2 minutes and 10 seconds. So those early misses from Coda are really hurting the team score right now, as we going to be getting into that second Ki soon here.
That's another very, very difficult section coming up. All it takes is 1 miss from Uzumaki, 1 miss from Rectigon, and they're right back in it. But Suicune drops off. Oh no, it's a Bancho miss. We got absolutely faded by that one. All right, it all comes down to this ending. Uzumaki or Window Wife or Rectigon have to find the miss. Coda drops another one, but had dropped the combo previously, so not going to be the end of the world for Tennessee. Zatako finds a miss. That one is much more impactful, and now it's Suicune trying to fend off 2. Failing dropped off the boring combo, but it doesn't matter much anymore. And 2 SCs on this map would be absolutely absurd from Virginia, but they're looking to do just that, as they're still holding 2 full combos on Rectigon and Uzumaki.
Yeah, it's Suicune finding another break, or finally finding a drop on the FC, as it was a Banjo earlier. But it's going to be these 2 combos on the side of Virginia, holding into the end of the map. A double full combo from Uzumaki and Rectigon, and they just went right into their first pick confidently and showed why they are one of the dominant teams of this tournament. Double FC 585k. Just the 1 S rank coming out of Suicune on the side of Tennessee, but just just a lot of misses on Coda there early on in the map. Really brought the score back and weren't able to recover throughout the map. Going back to Tennessee's pick though, they have the 2 hidden maps open. We haven't seen the hidden 2 very often. Is that something that they decide to go for? Hidden 1 as well is a more alt style tech, light tech, more focused on the flow aim alt, but that definitely could be something that they go into. But there's also a lot of great gimmick here. There is that no mod 2 that they are going to go for. This is actually a precision pick, CS 7.7.
Yeah, a little bit surprising. Not something we've seen a lot of out of Tennessee so far in this tournament. Mind you, we've only had 1 round, but even on paper, this feels like much more of a reading hidden focus team, but I guess I want the precision instead. I mean, to be fair, could definitely see a player like Furyu putting up a good score on this map, but feels like Virginia have some solid precision players as well, so it is a little bit scary as a first pick.
Yeah, we did see Uzumaki do quite well as well, pulling out the second FC on the Hard Rock 2 there on Virginia, so wouldn't be surprised to see them stay in for this map. Of course, this being a much more on, I would say, on the gimmickier side, despite it being the precision 7.7. It's not as much of a density check as it was on the on the No Mod 2 last week, which was I believe around AR 8.3, AR 8.5. This is AR 9, so a little bit more standard, although being a higher BPM definitely balances that out a little bit, but definitely more focused on the pure precision aim rather than less gimmicky, but still gimmicky in a sense, you would think. And we're going to be getting into this map here. Similar lineups, we do see RNG in for failing on the side of Virginia, so RNG going to be in for their first play of the match. But you would expect with smaller circle size to see Hard Rock players definitely comfortable on this.
Yep, we see what Virginia can do on the Hard Rock. We'll see if they can repeat it on the Precision. This map, of course, with the circle size, is deceptively easy to miss on, despite the very kind of simple aim patterns. And even then, some of these aim patterns are actually quite awkward, as tends to be the case on a lot of Miss Magius maps. But both teams holding strong so far. It's another decently short map at 2 minutes and 46 seconds, and there's not a lot of combo to be gained in this map. It's not super dense. So even like 200, 300 combo advantages are going to start to make a dent in the score if they last for long enough. So Taco is going to find the first miss for Tennessee. Accuracy is pretty even on both sides. Tennessee falling slightly behind just because of the 97 on Taco, but doesn't seem like accuracy is going to be a big factor in this map. But Virginia is looking absolutely impeccable quarter of the way through.
Yeah, very high accuracies on this map. Only OD 8.5, so you would expect not so many big accuracy drops. It's actually going to be a trade here in misses from RNG and Coda. So it is again a combo advantage on the side of Virginia with those two FC still going. It's just Suicune with the one FC on the side of Tennessee. And this map here, once you get into some nerves, as we see a big break there from Suicune, the last FC dropping, nerves can play a factor when this is CS 7.7. There goes another FC on the side of Virginia. Uzumaki finding a break here. Going to be following that up with a second break. So the score lead actually going to be coming back with more misses coming out from Virginia. Coda drops the recovery, so that is not going to help Tennessee's cause. It's still Zatako holding on to 450 combo, and as I say that, Zatako breaks. It is just Rectagon now, still holding so cleanly through this 3/4 section of the map, really showing the amount of calmness and consistency through this map. We are seeing a few more breaks, but it is well in favor with this last FC coming out of Rectagon.
Yeah, this is the risk of picking Precision against a team like Virginia. If you're going to challenge Rectagon on a 5.5-star Precision map, you better be confident that you have at least one player who can put up a full combo to match that score and have good team scores to boot. Unfortunately, Tennessee don't, and I have to question their first pick. Feels like they had a lot of better options, and that is going to be an SS from Rectagon on the Precision pick, playing phenomenally so far.
Amazing score coming out of Rectagon. It just looks so clean, that 1 million points right there, just so casual, and it just works like clockwork. You see such big accuracies on the side of Tennessee as well. Just unfortunate misses on Suicune. 1/100 miss on Suicune. 3/100 151 miss on Coda. So you wonder what could have been. But today it's going to be Rectagon pulling away with the top score by far in the lobby. And Virginia, on their own pick, can take a stranglehold of this match. They're going to be going on to Free Mod 3 now, a awkward style alt map.
Yep, and Virginia certainly have the players to do well on the Free Mod maps. Obviously, you have Rectagon that can do the Hard Rock incredibly well. You could very well see Failing or RNG take the hit, and then you have one player on the no mod. Tennessee has a few more options. I think Suicune probably going to be taking hit. My guess is Coda on the Hard Rock. That's a little bit harder to say.
Yeah, I would say Coda most likely going to be on the Hard Rock here. We could see it either on Suicune and Zutako as well, but I do have a question. We saw two easy plays in the warm up. We do see one Tabby step into the lobby. Could this be an easy angle?
Now, my heart says yes. My brain says this map is probably not the easy map. It would be
That's
the
fair.
free mod one most likely, but I would love to see it. And if anyone was going to do it, it would be one Tabby. We'll find out any second now. Yeah, this map, it does make accuracy a little bit easier, but on the other hand, if you do take it easy on the alt map, you have the potential to note lock on big pattern and absolutely tank your accuracy. So it's not actually easier in any sense of the word. And unsurprisingly, it is just going to be RNG hidden, one Tabby on the no mod, and Rectigon on the hard rock. Then we've got an open mod from Coda, who's going to be running the hidden hard rock, and Suicune on the hidden. So no easies on this go around. We'll have to try again on the free mod one. Zutako has found an early miss. This is another very short map, so these early misses do matter a little bit, but this one was early enough that should make a huge difference. That miss from Suicune will matter a little bit more, as it's going to be down about 200 combo. Thankfully, Coda sold out of that full combo, and that hidden Hard Rock FC with the overmod is going to be worth a lot, even more so than the no mod FC. Rectigon finds the first miss. Misses for the first time this match, but they still got two FCs to 1, although Zutako not far behind, as Suicune does trade that miss back, so Virginia should be able to hold on to their lead as the combo advantage is pretty steady.
Yeah, it's both no mods holding on, and then both the hidden on RNG and then the hidden hard rock as well on Coda. It is sitting right around that 80k, very slowly trying to inch its way back, but it is still going in favor of Virginia with that combo advantage on Rectigon right now. Don't see any breaks right now. See a lot of these.
A big one.
Ooh, that is actually going to be Coda falling, so that is going to be huge. These two full combos still going on RNG and one Tabby. Both of them hitting the big back and forth pattern. Oh, Zutako unfortunately finding a break there, but all the players on Virginia holding through the big back and forth pattern into the big repeat slider, and Suicune also finding a break. It's a full reset on Tennessee. Virginia just looking so dominant on that picks. RNG finally finds the break on the FC, but one Tabby. We said they're going to come into this map and put in a good score, and this is what they are going to do, as this map will be going towards Virginia 3-0.
Yeah, another very, very strong team score from Virginia, putting up some of the best scores across the tournament on just about all the maps they've played so far. The last two especially. Tennessee does now have the pick. Now, thankfully for them, they don't have any more precision in the pool left to pick. They're going to go for the no mod 4 instead. And Joy, we're going to get the 5-minute consistency stream map. What everybody wanted to watch.
Yeah, we're gonna have to find. Well, I guess they're gonna be playing for 5 minutes, so we'll have stuff to talk about because they're gonna be playing the map, definitely. But this being, don't be fooled by the number on your screen. This map, well, this map is 100 BPM if you were thinking of it in halftime, but this map actually closer to 200 BPM if you were thinking of the streams as 16th notes instead of 32nd notes. If it was 100 BPM, all of these streams would be 32nd notes, and it would look like absolute hell on sheet music. So that's the joy of BPM scaling.
Yep. Knowing nothing about sheet music, tempo, or BPM scaling, suffice it to say, this is just a 200 BPM stream map.
Just trying to make it a little bit educational for everybody.
There you go. Do appreciate that.
Yeah.
I have learned something today. As, you know, even though they lost, at least Suicune has many friends to whom join the chat. We're going to see a couple of roster changes. Tennessee swapping in Dempsey and Furyu. Virginia have Gleeg coming in for the No Mod 4. And this is another pretty easy map. It is entirely about the consistency and definitely, given the caliber of these two teams, the kind of map we could very well see at least a couple FCs on. And so if you're Tennessee picking this into Virginia, you have to be confident that at least one player on your team can pull out a full combo, or at least near a full combo. We'll see who that'll be, as I think Coda missed on the very first note. Got the nerves out of the way.
Yeah, as well as Gleeg, I think, or I might be mistaken, or it might have been Bancho, but also finding like a break on the first note as well. I was about to say we got to be on an SS watch on the side of Virginia, but they all dropped a couple hundreds each. But that's okay because we still have the one on the side of Coda, as I casually curse that SS away sooner rather than later. But yeah, this map gonna be all about that consistency. We do see an early break coming out of failing from Virginia, but this map, these early breaks, like we were talking about earlier, especially in that Fremont 3, that when the map is shorter, every single combo matters that much more. But this map being, well, almost 3,000 combo, I believe, will be definitely a lot less impactful, the early misses. No misses on the side of Tennessee though yet.
Yeah, okay, there's a big miss from Gleeg. Gonna be down to 700 combo, and because of the length of the map, small score differences are bigger than they appear. 30,000 points is actually a decent score lead for Tennessee early on, and now it's just directly gone holding, but there's plenty of time for Virginia to find the recoveries. They just need to be patient now and wait for Tennessee to find misses. But again, this is not necessarily a map that Tennessee are going to find many misses on. It's very possible that we do see at least two very large combos on the map, and all Virginia can do is wait. Coda still holding that SS, Dempsey and Furyu not far behind at all in terms of accuracy, and this map doesn't really get any more difficult. It kind of is what it is. Some trickier streams coming up, but Tennessee looking strong. Virginia on the recoveries, but until we see misses from Tennessee, they're going to continue to fall farther and farther behind.
Yeah, I think what the most important part here for Virginia is that the two players that have missed are now recovering, failing up to almost 800 combo right now. Gleeg at 500 combo now. So they haven't found extra misses on top of the ones that they found at first. So that does leave a window open if we do see any breaks coming out of Tennessee. All the players hitting that longer stream there as we go into a more calmer section here. A little bit of free combo to build up here.
Yeah, Furyu has found the miss for Tennessee now. So with two FCs, Tennessee now only slightly behind, but the score lead will go back over in favor of Virginia, as very slowly, but will go back over nonetheless. They have plenty of time to bring this one back, but they do need to hold on to their combos now, because with the two FCs, they're only actually up by about 400 combo, which is not a ton on this map. And with only a third of the map to go, they may need a second miss from either Coda or Dempsey. It is going to come down to the wire if things remain as they are, but chances are we're going to see at least one more miss from somebody before this map is over.
Yeah, into a little 1/3 section. Coda does finally drop the double S, but that really isn't going to matter as they go through these 1/3. Some accuracy being dropped on the side of Tennessee, but no combos dropping on the side of Tennessee. They're just going to be holding on here. Quarter of the map left. Just about the last minute here as we are about to crest the 2,000 combo mark on these FCs. And gotta think a little bit of nerves possibly getting in here, but these players are so experienced. I don't know if they can be phased by much here. The score is coming over ever so slowly. It's down to almost 55,000 here. Everybody hits that longer spaced out stream. Everybody getting through this. Furyu has actually already come back up all the way to almost 1,000 combo here. There's no breaks coming into the end. Going into these last big stream section. There goes Dempsey.
Dempsey.
That's going to be huge. And it's going to race back over to Virginia now as Rectagon's still holding on. Failing does find a break, so it might even it out. This is insane going into the end.
Yeah, but it needs to be another miss from Virginia. They currently have a pretty sizable combo advantage, and uneven is not good for Tennessee. They might just be giving up a second break point this match. Furiu finds the miss at the end, and that is going to do it for Tennessee on this map. A second break point for Virginia, and they are looking to steamroll their way through this match. They're on match point now, and with a pick of their own, they can aim for the clean sweep here. And yet another FC from Rectagon, 99.72, incredible accuracy. Coda, 99.8, very impressive as well.
Yeah, just the one slider break, or maybe a couple slider breaks coming into the end, but the one big slider break for Dempsey unfortunately held on for over 2,100 combo, but unfortunately found the break near the end of the map. And a lot of these one miss maps, it just shows how devastating just one miss can be in a map that is 5 minutes long. And with Virginia's last map, they've done well on some more unconventional maps like the Free Mod 3 and the No Mod 2. They've done well on mechanics with the No Mod 4 and the Hard Rock 2. I think whatever they pick here, I think they can do well on. It's going to be that hidden 2 that we were talking about. That we thought possibly Tennessee could pick, but yes, an absolute banger as we get into another Honey Sticks map here.
Yeah, very, very tricky map. Possibly the second hardest map in the pool, only after the Hard Rock 2. And skill cap does certainly favor Virginia. And I mean, Rectagon can play pretty much everything in these early round pools. Then you have got quite a few players that are comfortable on the hidden for Virginia. Players like One Tabby, players like RNG. You could even have Uzumaki play a map like this. So it feels like their roster options are pretty open. Tennessee, I think we're going to go back to that roster of Coda, Suicune, and most likely Zatako for the third, but we'll have to see. As this map is very aim heavy. There's a lot of very tricky slider aim mixed in with the awkward aim.
Definitely. And this being another longer map, 3 minutes 20 seconds, I believe it's the full drain time. And as you're saying, this really tests the skill cap here. We will be seeing Rectagon come back in, so it's going to be Rectagon failing an RNG. Coda and Zatako, you gotta think Suicune is going to fill out that roster here. But this is Virginia's pick on match point, the opportunity to go for the clean sweep. And what a way it would be to go out on a crazy map like this.
Yeah, we've yet to have any match this weekend be closer than a 5-2, which has only happened once. Every other match, a 5-0 or a 5-1. Virginia looking to continue the trend unless Tennessee can find a break point and storm their way back into this one. They've got about 3 minutes to find out. An early miss from Coda isn't really going to matter. Accuracy could definitely be a factor on this one. It's currently Rectagon with the highest stack, but RNG and Failing struggling a little bit more. Now we see a miss from Suicune, so these early misses don't matter so much in and of themselves, but a possible indicator that Tennessee are not the most comfortable on this pick. And here we go into the really big cross-screen jumps, followed by the long sliders. Zatako finds the miss. Everyone on Tennessee has missed now. Virginia holding 3 FCs strong, a pretty good omen for them, but still lots of maps to be played. This one is far from over. Now it's going to be Rectagon finding this, traded by Coda. All of that trade does favor Tennessee. Suicune missing right afterwards, it does not. And Virginia are going to need to find quite a few misses if Tennessee wants a chance back into this one. Failing does find the miss, so only 1 FC remaining, but Tennessee just don't really have the recovery to keep up. They're down by 6,000 points already. That's a fair bit on this map. RNG still holding strong and just going to continue to push this score late. Failing find another miss, but didn't have much combo to begin with. This is another tricky section coming up here. Zatako nearly misses on that slider, but does manage to hold on. Tennessee have the combos now to make the comeback if we see another miss out of RNG or even Rectigon. But for the time being, Virginia pushed the score lead even further.
We were talking about how this being one of the more skill cap testing maps in the pool, as we see Zatako, Suicune skill cap testing, but one might also say RNG in some of these cross-screen jumps, and as the player suggests, it is RNG holding on to the biggest combo in the lobby. Still the FC running on this hidden 2. There are no combos to combat this on the side of Tennessee. iFlame, I think with a third of the map left, this is almost as over as it can be, failing with a good recovery as well. 450 combo almost here. More breaks coming out of Tennessee on Zatako, and this would be a score to put on for style to really dominate in a 5-0 victory.
Yeah, looking to be the clean sweep for Virginia off the back of an absolutely incredible score from RNG. Tennessee just cannot keep up despite their best efforts, which means they will be dropping down to the losers bracket. Of course, they are not out of the tournament just yet, and they're going to be playing the winner of Maryland versus Washington, which is yet to be played. That match will be tomorrow at 23 UTC. Virginia, on the other hand, they're going to be moving on to play Oregon in the next round of the winners bracket. So they've got a pretty similar team in terms of seed. RNG tragically does find the miss right at the end, but a very impressive score nonetheless as we come to the end of this hidden 2 and to the end of this match.
There it is. It's going to be Virginia as this map comes to a close. And it's going to be Virginia with the clean sweep over Tennessee. You would somewhat expect a good showing out of Virginia here when it comes to seed 4 versus 13. A lot of seed disparity there, but you never know with these earlier pools. But it is Virginia going to be the one showing up today. And as you said, Oregon going to be definitely a tall task in front of Virginia here, with big players like Boshi Man on that team that are so good in those gimmick skill sets. Although Virginia definitely able to combat that, and we will see them in that match next week.
Yeah. I mean, Oregon have already taken out the 5th seed in New Jersey, so certainly not well represented by that 12 seed. They're certainly underseeded, but we do have 2 more matches to come. Both of those are going to be tomorrow evening, 23 UTC. We already mentioned Maryland versus Washington. And then our final match of the round of 16 is going to be Wisconsin versus Connecticut an hour later at 23:59 UTC. But that is going to do it for us tonight. Big thank you to Kias for streaming, with commentating with me today. I'm an iFlame, and last but not least, thank you all for watching. We'll see you back here 23 UTC tomorrow for some more USC.
Good night, folks.